This is lesson 2 of vocal technique, and I want to talk today about breathing. What happens when you breathe in? You breathe air in through your nose and your mouth, and that goes into your lungs. And for everyday talking, we don't really think about what's happening. We don't really control what's going on. So let me just first of all show you the steps. In here, behind here, we have the lungs. Okay, we have the rib cage, these bony bits here, and we have muscles down here, the abdominal muscles, which are all you also have going around the sides. This is the epigastric area, and when you breathe in, underneath the rib cage is a very big, powerful muscle called the diaphragm. And when the diaphragm contracts like this, it sucks air in, just like in a car engine, the pistons pulling down suck the air in. So when you do that, it pulls air in, and now the air is inside my lungs. Okay, so if I breathe in, and then I breathe out fast, I'm letting my diaphragm relax, and I'm squeezing with my other muscles. The diaphragm does not push air out. The diaphragm simply relaxes. The diaphragm is what is active in pulling the air in when it contracts like this. But on the out breath, it's simply relaxing. For singing, control is very, very important. So when the diaphragm contracts and pulls air in, that air is now our precious fuel for singing, and we must control it. So, to come back to the muscles again here is when we breathe in. Remember, we're breathing, imagine air's falling into a bottle, and we're filling the bottle. The air is in the lungs, of course, not down here. These muscles around the sides here should try and prevent the diaphragm from just collapsing. To do that, we need to use our muscles, our abdominal muscles, to keep that air from coming out too quickly. So instead of okay, instead of that's just collapsed. We want to be able to keep the air inside and just let it out and control the pressure inside the lungs in order to give us the sound here at the vocal cords. Here is an exercise that will help you build your breathing support muscles. The idea is that you take a full breath of air, you fill up your tank. Remember, we all have our own individual full tank of air. Don't breathe in so much that you blow up like a bullfrog. That only has the opposite effect. So you just fill your tank of air. Remember, breathe in over a count of 4 and we're going to hold that breath for a count of 4, and then we're going to breathe out over a count of 4, completely out. Okay, empty the tank. Then we're going to breathe in again over a count of 5, and then we're going to hold our breath for a count of 5, and then breathe out over a count of 5. There's where the muscle building is going to be taking place. Now remember, we're not building the diaphragm muscles, we're actually building the muscles, the support muscles around the sides, the abdominal muscles around the sides, the back, and in the thorax, in the thorax here. So here we go. I've put the metronome on at a count of 60 beats to the minute. So we'll be 1, hold the breath, out, and breathe out completely, remember. Then breathe immediately back in over 5. So let's go. Here we go. Okay, that was easy, wasn't it? The idea is to build that exercise up as high as you can to a count of 10 even. What is really important is that as you go to higher counts, you'll find yourself getting too full. So it's very important to stop every so often. Stop and then restart. Because as I said earlier, you do not want to over breathe. That will only have the opposite effect and make you want to breathe out even more quickly. Let me just give you an example on a count of 8. The idea being, of course, that you can do a nice long phrase. So once you've got a breath, you will be able to control the outgoing air to keep your tone going longer. So, there is an exercise to help you build your breathing muscles. Remember, it's not really a way of singing, it's a way of building the muscles. Let's remind ourselves that for singing, what you need to do is to take in a full breath very quickly, okay, silently, and then to hold that breath in and control that diaphragm. Not to the extent that nothing comes out. You take in the breath, and you must be able to sing, but you need to control that diaphragm so that you don't collapse while you're singing. Let me give you an example. First, one phrase. Take the breath. Ready? You raised me up so I I can stand on mountains. Okay, I made that up very, very, very long. But you need to be able to do that when you're working on your breathing so that you are very confident when it comes to singing the song. Now let's add the second phrase. Breathe. You raised me up so I could stand on mountains. You raised me up to walk on stormy seas. Okay, so the first phrase, nice big breath. And between the phrases, nice big breath again. To be able to start off at the same dynamic. So, not quite as pretty as Josh Groban, but it's really just to illustrate that you need to have a full breath and to feel confident and to keep that breath throughout the phrase. Okay.